All right, I think I'm there. I think I'm all set up. There we go. Let me move this over here and you over here. I don't remember if we've done this with the new setup yet. I don't remember. This is so weird though. This is so very odd. A rune arc, what a shocker. Hey, howdy, Xavier. All right, where the hell am I? We start over here. Actually, no, let's start over here. Whew. Man, the Halloween stream was fun. It was shorter than I would have liked it to be, but it was, you know, I admit, doing Londor, like working through the night to get Londor posted on Halloween, I admit, was a bit ambitious of me. I didn't realize how tired I was until like I finished the stream. I hit the bed and I knocked out. Like, holy hell. I was gone. All right, oh God. Okay, yeah. I have to re-remember how this all works. It's so different compared to the other one, too. Oh, I'm not used to this sensitivity. Oh, God. I'm glad the game turned out really good. I mean, that's the best you can hope for, right? So I'm happy about it, too. God, I was just thinking, okay, let me just teleport my character over here. Oh, it's awful, chat. Wait, but you know what I can do? I can pause. Oh, I missed this ability to pause at the touch of a button. Oh God, it feels so weird to be back. We're back. We're back. Can't imagine what that hard mode looks like. Yeah, I have no idea what the hell. Like, I'll be honest, I still feel like I'm shit at the combat. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Because I feel like I just take too much damage. And again, maybe that's just it. I need to, like, maximize my supplies and stuff. But it's like, we got apparently, like, 13 days left on that thing. And, like, I don't know if that guy we're trying to... Like, I'm trying to do all that stuff so I can get the guy his laundry from the ground floor. But I need the freaking discs. And I can't find the discs. Like, that's going to be a fun one when I come back to it in a year's time. Yeah, truly something special there. Very fun. Ballista bolts. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Hand ballista is that weapon we get over in Weeping Peninsula, correct? Is this the only place we get ballista bolts like this? Because if so, this could be another piece of evidence of Godrick's forces here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Because if so, I need to include that. That one went under my radar because it's so generic, right? Like, you know, I generally don't look too closely at ammunition. That's ironically that happened in Dark Souls 3 with me too, even though there was that Edmund lore there. So I was like, oh, I missed this. I honestly just don't give range weapons enough credit. Like, I look at the bows and then I'm done. Oh, bad habit of mine, clearly. Clearly, I should have been paying attention to what the ammo was. Mm-hmm. Nardi should have notes for that. Yeah, I gotta go check Nardi's notes. See if there's any other notable stuff there. I'm not seeing any more of these balloons on this western side so far. For the sake of my sanity. Oh, you know what I want to do since we have the, since we do have the music here? Is this too loud? Are sound effects and stuff too loud? Just tell me if I need to put it down a bit. Oh boy. Yeah, I think I can put it down. Yeah, I can look at the tree too. I'm gonna put this down to 5 for now. Yeah, it can be hard to kind of gauge, like, how much is too much here. But yeah, I need to refresh myself on all this. I didn't realize they were unresponsive. Huh? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Yep, too loud? Gotcha. If it's still too loud, just tell me. All right, we got ourselves our favorite silver boys. There's one of these here, isn't there? Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's one platform right there, so that's not that unusual. That platform we can safely ignore. All right, so there's a few things I wanted to confirm. One was bats. I don't remember fighting bats in Raya Lucaria, but I do remember finding them around the perimeter of the mountain. So I want to kind of double check to see if memory serves. We all know it doesn't with me, but goldfish memory's got to be right at least once in my life. Also, the pots in the school versus normal pots. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the reminder. I do want to get another look at that. Or at the very least, get a shot so I can make a comparison on my own at some point. Yeah, I think I remembered all the deployment platforms. Because I was like, am I remembering them right? Because I know, like, there are the ones over by Karia Manor. There's the ones over by the bridge. There's the ones, of course, by Stormveil Castle. We should already have shots of all of this with our favorite guy here, right? So this is a separate thing I'm gonna have to cover. Yeah, they're friendly. Let me make sure I'm not, okay, let me make sure I'm not, like, tripping or something. These guys are friendly. Am I crazy, chat? Do I misremember what I can do with this camera mod? Oh, always stealth is on. Yeah, duh. I forgot I could do that. I just checked the box without thinking. It was I'm so used to have it, but I actually forgot what I was. God, I'm so used to cheat engine. I forgot I just press a button and I'm always stealth. I'm so used to having to manually change numbers and crap. God, I've been spoiled so hard by this game, man. God, the Otis mod is so absolutely leaked. Ah, the litest of lits. The leadest of lits. The litest of leads. What are we looking at here? No, nothing. Okay. All right, there's where you are. Phew. But yeah, so I was looking through my my Liurnian Civil War doc, and I was like, oh, there's a few things I haven't crossed off that should, like, and a few things, like, there's a little bit I did a rearranging stuff on like some of the rebellion things or whatever, because let me double check actually this fact is true and that like I didn't just like do a bunch of this crap for nothing. Mm-hmm. All right, so I vaguely recall the bats being around here. Am I wrong? I know there's definitely, you have the snails around here. Oh, that's a turtle. Uh-huh. Mm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. We got you. Why do I want to mention? I don't think I should. I'd have to think about that one, whether I should mention the virgin there or not, right? It does make you wonder how the hell this stuff was supposed to sync up, you know? It does make you wonder. Because it can't be going all the way down there. So I do wonder if there was some idea, like the garden... Maybe the idea would be like the garden would like have a slope or something that would then match up. Though then I guess the question would be, why do you bother with the slope when you can do it? Like, I don't know, maybe it's Liurnian engineering. Right, because we go up here. This is with the Church of the Cuckoo and stuff like that, right? Then there's the graveyard, which is basically through this side, right? Go in and around the tower, right? We take the graveyard all the way over here. We take the road up, right? Into well, somewhere over here, which takes us into the classrooms here, right? Right. We never entered these buildings, as far as I'm aware, right? Yeah. Yeah, our interactions... Or wait, do we? No, because here's the temple corridor, and here, yeah, so no. We stay limited. So this is us going through the main buildings with the classrooms. Eventually, we make our way here to where the staircase and stuff is, right? So we take the path. This is where we take the path upward. Then we take the other staircase up into here, which is the debate hall. All right, and this would be where the broken glass would have been. Right, and then out from the debate hall, that's where we find these gardens, and then that's when we take things up here to the library. Don't think about it too hard moment. Yeah, that probably is the real answer. They weren't too concerned about trying to make it line up because it was going to be destroyed anyway. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if the model was pre-made and then they realized the model was too long for what they were trying to do here with everything else with the level, and so they ended up destroying all this as just a way to make it easier than them having to like rebuild an entire stair. I imagine staircase models are relatively difficult, right? Like you have to basically remake the whole thing so that way it could perfectly, you know, fit at the exact right level and stuff from there, right? So instead of redoing the staircase, they could just destroy, you know, this chunk, and then they could make like lore justifications for it. That would make sense, right? And again, it explains them having a virgin, an abductor virgin specifically here, because correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the only abductor virgin in the wild of Liurnia, right? The rest of them are in Raya Lucaria itself. So like and you know, there's like one or two of them that are here specifically, right? So it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, one of them that could have dropped down with everything else here. The question I have then is like, God, when am I going to talk about the abductor virgins with Rykard, right? So when is Rykard going to be? Would it be before or after I talk about the cuckoos here? I legit don't know. I'm going to have to keep that noted, though. This abductor virgin followed by these guys in a string all around here. Okay. All those wraith callers. Oh, the wolves are already up here. That's cool. All right, so I could not find any bats though. So I'm gonna have to make sure that's amended, I guess. Oh God, I really do. I really did forget. Elden Ring is so simple with this system that it's confusing me. Like I have to remember, all I don't have is the ability to make myself invincible from falling and crap. I can basically do anything else. We have some angry jellies. I don't remember who pissed them off. Hey, Night Scout. Let's see. I could have swore there was a corpse up here and stuff, but I do not remember. I do not remember the location if there is. And it could be that I've already looted it a long time ago, and now it's just like hidden among the bushes or something. Oh, hey, look, our favorite red leaves. Sure, I can check the water wheel. Oh, Oh, only 2 of these for once. You don't see that too often. Are those blood roses near the jellyfish? No, those are what's it called? The red leaves. I don't see any blood roses. These are the regular fruit leaves. Yeah, no blood roses. None that I can see. Yeah. Those are just the Roa. Alright. Alright, so... Unless I'm forgetting something, I don't think there are bats. Maybe they only show up at nighttime or something. I did not check at night, so... This is one of the downsides of Elden Ring being so open world, is it's very possible that I can miss something, because it's like, oh, I'm not counting for the time of day, I'm not counting for this, I'm not counting for that, you know? Alright, there should be an Albinauric here. Yeah. Oh, and I could do Dutch angles! Ah! Oh, I'm free! Oh, I'm free! All right, that's cool. Don't remember where the large crystal formations are on the west side anymore, but I know there's like 2 or 3. Oh wait, it's a foggy day now. Yeah, they're Arteria leaves. We have Roa fruit and Arteria leaves, nothing else special. Like seriously, who pissed that guy off? How are you getting the earth trees like that close, you stupid sunflower? Alright. Okay. No deployment platforms over here, but I know for sure they're over by this bridge. I trust my memory here. Yep, there's one. I hope I didn't destroy any, because that could completely screw things over if I don't have one. It's just the one, though. All right. It's just this one as far as we're aware. That's fine. Oh. Okay, sure. Should have done the double jump. I forgot what is here. All right. All right. Word on the streets, Ray Lucaria pots are different. Yeah, I've heard that too. Okay, that's it. It's not even worth taking the shots. All right. Now, Karian Knight and a bunch of nobles. We got our guys here. There's the spirit of a noble here. I killed the scarab already, no problem. Yeah, so too late for that, but more no. Yeah, okay. I just couldn't remember which puppets were, if it was just nobles or if there was like nobles and Raya Lucarians, but I'm like, I don't remember it being Raya Lucarian soldier versus Raya Lucarian soldier. Yeah, nothing crazy here. Again, this would make sense. Just take some of the nobles from the academy and turn them into puppets. Carrying complete staff. There we go. This is the chest with the cookbook, right? I don't recall if this will ever be relevant, but there we go. All right. All right, so I think that covers all the stuff I was looking out for. Unless there's something I specifically missed. So let's look out for some of the stuff you suggested. So, let's look at first the pots. All right. Yeah, there's one of these. Yeah, so it's just like there. So yeah, that's consistent. Glintstone fireflies. Oh, what was the corpse here? Crystal darts. Nothing that important. This was goldsmithing stone. This was relevant. Yeah, because I only talked about the body over here before. Oh, no, it's up here. My bad. Right. I forgot. Did I kill these guys? I guess I did. Golden Rune 7. May as well get that shot there before I forget it. Now I gotta go back up. This is the unfortunate part of not being able to teleport like with Cheat Engine. Gonna have to move myself all manually. Already told Loki that. Yeah. Listen, guys. Some stuff I remember, some stuff I don't. Anyway, is this fair yet? I guess not. Okay, gotta remember how to emote too. All right. Yeah. All right. So that's something. I keep feeling the urge to just teleport myself. Michael Zaki needs to give us another game. Nah, you know, I think he's got it. He's given us enough. I'm still, considering the fact that I'm still throwing myself around on this one, I feel like I'm gonna be sated for quite a while, you know? Yeah, there's the Golden Room 4. All right. Oh my. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's not a body. Was I just seeing things then? No, there is a body. Of course. There we go. Just one more, please. Only have 5 games on PC, and that's counting DS2. Yeah, where's my Bloodborne on PC? Where's my Bloodborne, Michael Zaki? I'm watching you, Michael Zaki. Always watching you. There you go. Mm-hmm. Curious that Raya Lucaria is employing a former duelist up here. A prisoner of the Golden Order is present in the place that's neutral in the Shattering. I don't think that's that weird, because we have to consider, like, the idea is, like, you have a bunch of guys and you're recruiting them generally, and, like, from what we can tell, the only ones that are allowed in through the seal and stuff is through, like, the sorcerer magic and things, right? So I guess it just depends on, like, you know, how flexible can you be with the seals if only one person can go in each, right, with the key? I feel like if we consider the idea being is that this would occur in the early days of, like, the Shattering, it could definitely work. Again, we have to keep in mind that the point that Raya Lucaria had to do was that they had to reassert their neutrality after they got their ass whooped by Malenia. So, you know, they were only being neutral when it suited them. They tried. They tried being a player in the game. And it didn't go so well. Yeah, okay. Let's go check out our pots now. Yeah, okay. Which stupid sorcerer decided he wanted to make blacksmithing his major in wizard school? Bro was bringing physical/magical scaling to the masses. Listen, there's always going to be that one guy who's a swordsman, but he just happened to have the talents to actually read books. And he's like, listen, I think we can make this work. It happened in Vinheim, it can happen in Raya Lucaria. I mean, come on, the Carians, for God's sake. Their entire shtick is being magical fencers. Their whole thing is a sword. The guy was just trying to follow in the Queenie's footsteps, which is why he got killed. I think more than bring a prisoner will violate the neutrality. Again, it's mostly a sham, and I don't think they really care. Again, the point of them is that they are duelists who are thrown into catacombs and stuff. So who's going to care if you're taking one of them out, slap in a goddamn, you know, helmet to help quiet the bad thoughts and like use them as basically your muscle. I don't think it's like, I'm not surprised to see one is what I'm trying to say, right? Like, I'm not expecting like, oh yeah, this is like something that they were going to go out of their way for, but it's like, you know, one or two, sure, why not? It could happen. All right, let's go see it. I forget how close you have to be for this thing to trigger, but... So this would be it, right? With the little gold... Like, I don't know what you'd call it. Fillings, maybe? I don't know. Kind of looks like scrap, like, you know, like when something's like peeling. I will admit, it's a really minor detail. Is there anything special about the arms? I don't see it. No, I don't think there's. I don't think it's part of those factions at all. Not at all. Either gold or wax. I guess it could be corpse wax. I would like to see someone just take this model out and compare them in, like, you know, neutral lighting, you know? The ones at Carian Manor are not like this, right? It's only the ones here in Raya Lucaria. And then, did we mention if the small ones are the same too, or? I don't see it with the small ones, at least. Can't tell if it's Japanese gold repairing or just weird texture. I mean, I feel like it's super hyper specific if it's a weird texture. Like, don't weird textures usually make stuff look white or purple or pink or something, right? So, I don't know. I feel like saying just weird texture would definitely be an odd angle for this. Yeah, the mending broken pots with gold, I guess that could be possible. But, like, correct me if I'm wrong, don't these pots have the scratches anyway? Or the cracks, I should say? Like, I don't think, like, the cracks are, like, new, so it'd be very weird and hyper-specific. I would not be surprised if this is, like, a model that, like, for lack of a better phrase, fell through the cracks. Like, this was something, like, you know, they were working on, like, making multiple or whatever, but they ended up just settling on, like, one standard, but they forgot to do it for this area, maybe. But who knows? Maybe I'm not given enough credit. The little ones also have no engraving, so it's specifically just for the big one here, huh? And this is like the only one, I think. Yeah, Japan does have, you know, Japan does have exactly that with the gold and stuff, right? I've definitely seen that before. So that could be maybe the inspiration. Maybe they were like kind of going with that idea because gold and like pots and the meat and, you know, Like maybe they had like something in mind there, but like I said, it's very weird then that they only have this happening in the area where they're doing primeval you know, sorcery stuff behind closed doors. Down here, there should be, what's it called? The Grace Mimic. There we go. That's the long-tailed cat talisman. Unfortunate. Smithing Stone 5 down here. Oh. Oh. That's worth pointing out. All right. I don't have any of these, damn. All right. Remind me to come back here with another character. Where's the Grace Mimic one, then? Don't tell me I, like, looted this one already. That would really suck. Is it this guy over here? No, that's Lost Ashes of War. That's not helpful. Windows in Lindell look to be glued up with wax. What's up with that? I assume it's a part of a lockdown by Morgott. You know, kind of like what's the word? Oh, what's the word? Martial law. There we go. You know, he's instituting martial law. Everybody, stay inside. Can't have people going out and about and stuff until we make sure that everything is cleaned up, it's safe, we're secure. There's no traitors or secret insiders that are working to undermine us, especially after the whole thing with Godric in the second Defense of Lindell. That would be where my brain goes at. It's amber, not wax. Well, either way, whichever. Amber, wax. All right. Yeah, there's the Avionets. That's more Golden Rune. I would have swore there was a Grace Mimic you found down here, but I must be mistaken. Sap the Erd Tree, yum yum. All right, Night Scout, you were asking about the water wheel, right? If there's actual water causing it to move at any point. I don't see water for this lower one. Let's go back to the classroom. Is there a water source pouring down on this wheel from on the rock somewhere? Yeah, I don't see that, but again, let's try to look at it from up here. Nope. Nope, they just have it turning. They have a water source here, but it's just on the wheel. So yeah, they're not showing. They didn't drop too hard. There's nothing inside or anything either. It's hollow. we would be able to see in here if there was. Well, the thing is, Xavier, there is a water thing they have show coming from here, right? I don't know how to interpret this except that water is pouring in through here. But I don't see any water here. Definitely not here. Oh, wait. Look, see? We have a water source here. See? So we have water dripping here. Water dripping here. Onto this corner, see? So it's picking up water from somewhere. What calls it a water wheel, Night Scout? Is it the concept art book or something? Is that where the terminology comes from? Dripping from the opposite side of where it should. Yeah, it should, if the water was coming down to help move it, it should be going with the momentum of where it's turning, shouldn't it? It's not coming from the cavern ceiling. It stops at the water wheel. See? It stops here. The water wheel is where it comes from. That's clearly what they're trying to convey. There is nothing up here. And the only thing we have beneath here, right, is just the garden where the fountain is. Which, I guess that tells you, whatever, wherever they're pumping the water from, it's, I guess, what was also supplying the fountain. I guess. So the fountain would be literally, like, right here. Right? This would be all buildings and stuff. Patches calls it a water wheel. Good to know. Look, I was not interested with the cracks in the pots for all. What I was talking about is the fact that the pots are simpler and have a dark stain on its side. Oh, really? Let's go back over here and look at it. Like this would this be the stain? My idea is that the sorcerers are making their own simple homemade pots for Primeval Current Study as a different way of doing graven masses, since you also find that talisman in the same room. Well, yeah, they're definitely doing graven mass stuff, right? Like, that would be the point of having all the massive flesh and then the little flesh there, right? So that much is certain. But I guess the question is, why would it just be this model that they would show anything special for? So by darker, I assume you mean stuff like this. Like these stains here. No engravings. I guess I'd have to look at where the engravings would be on these. Or is it here on the side, you mean? No swirly engravings like most jars have? Good point. Oh, really? Do they have something like that on the side? I'll be honest, I do not recall this. I think we have to go to another character that actually has, like, Yeah, I think we should go to one that's actually like open all that stuff up and stuff, because I don't want to potentially ruin it here if I want to get shots with the illusory walls active. There we go. No, yeah, we do get a Graven Mask. There's the quote unquote dead one in the tower earlier and stuff. And obviously, if you're getting the talisman at a mass of crystals with a bunch of dead things around it, it's not just the pots. You also have, like, I think if I recall, there's a bunch of the cuckoo birds and stuff and a bunch of bone piles as well. So, like, yeah, it's all clearly going to human sacrifice to turn into glintstone. Compared to the manor pots, yeah, we'll do that now, and then we'll come back. Oh god, I did not, oh god, I never created, the grace! Alright, I can't use torrent here. Oh yeah, you're right. The swirls right there. I completely forgot about that. Woo! So yeah, there's a bunch of differences besides the gold thing. Yeah, I don't know why the gold, why they even bothered adding all the little gold stuff there though. It's such a... Yeah. Oh, they have... The other ones, I don't remember having the handles. Yeah. Oh, there's definitely stains and stuff here, though. That much is consistent. You have the dark stains here under the arms on the side. Oh, what about the... Do we have any cracks? I mean, we kind of have chips. There's definitely chipping. There's no difference in the attacks of these enemies, right? Like, they all do the same thing. Yeah, yeah. See, simple. I think the school ones are homemade. So you think they might have just kind of cobbled it together. Oh, you know what? I want to check out the pots outside in that case. Yeah, look at the small ones, yeah. Yeah, so the stain stuff is pretty consistent. It's mainly the design stuff. So they still have, like, the Erd tree looking top. They didn't change that at all. But everything else about the design is way different. Very obviously so. All right, something like this will do. Fran actually pulled the texture file so you can see the stain I'm talking about. Yeah, because I wasn't seeing it. Like, I'm seeing the same patterns here. Is it supposed to be like a blood stain? Like, does it look like a reddish black, or is it more so like just generic dirt and stuff? Pots, right? Yeah, okay. Not crazy. Oh! Yeah, they all use the same design out here. Oh yeah, they do have the same. Look, see, they still have that yellow. They still have that like yellow little chipping and stuff here. Originally, these jars were meant to carry the dead bodies of warriors to the roots of minor Erdtree so they can feed them, hence the Erdtree icon, right? It's basically just another form of Erdtree burial, like various others we see, right? You know, you put them in a coffin, you put them in under 6 feet under with a gravestone, like, right? Like, the point is ultimately to get them near the roots. So yeah, we commonly see them, if they're not in catacombs or something, then it's at the, at a minor Erdtree or what have you, right? The pots definitely seem to be the preferred method when it's an Erdtree, though, because you just bring the pots to the roots, and well, I guess their job is done. We also see catacombs being set up at the Erdtrees. They seem to kind of serve as like replacements for what's it called? They kind of seem to serve as kind of like replacements for the heroes' graves. It's purple. Oh, purple. That's an interesting color. I guess they would be on the small ones too if this is literally just tinier model. I do like the fact that they don't have handles. Like, I never even noticed that before. But yeah, that's a neat little... That's kind of neat. All right. There we go. You know, the idea that there was a conflict out here too and stuff like that, that would also explain why we find the pots out here and stuff. There we go. There we go. Great Tree versus Erdtree. What's your take, Loki? They're the same thing. Yeah, whatever. I was perhaps the most charitable to Great Tree theorists because I said, listen, it's not in the text. It's just not there. It really isn't. But, you know, maybe there's something in the environment and the circumstances that would make it. And then I went through the whole game and, well, what do you know? I found nothing. So, yeah, I'm obliged to say there is no Great Tree separate from the Erdtree. Oh, cool. Thanks for sharing, Xavier. Yeah, I have to figure out where I'm going to mention that and stuff, because I do feel now it's like, damn. I do want to include that. Okay. Big tree and Kari. Yeah, we'll head to Kari Manor and do that now. Alright, it's just I got the shot of the pots outside. I'm not going to bother getting the ones inside the room now. I'm happy with where we're at. This should be a good spot. No, the Great Tree, here's the thing. The Great Tree is just The Great Tree is just the Erd Tree. Do I have it on me? Do I have it on me? Where is? No, I don't. Like for example, the Japanese text describes the Erd Tree depicted on the Godric army soldiers' surcoat as just, you know, the Erd Tree and stuff like. Again, the term Great Tree is just. It's not something distinct or unique in the Japanese language, right? From anything else we see, right? It's like, say, Great Wood in, it's like what they localized as Great Wood in, like, Dark Souls 3 or any of the other games or whatever, right? It's just talking about a big tree. That's really all it is. It's just a terminology for a big tree. And the games consistently make it clear, either explicitly or implicitly, it's referring to the Erd Tree in whatever its form. Greater Will is constantly alluded to as being the sun. Yeah, there are some connections to be drawn there, but at least from what the DLC and stuff tells us, the Greater Will is the abyss of space. Now, where does that leave the sun in the cosmology? I don't know. It could be that it's also the Greater Will, but like, again, I'd have to like, you know, I have to immerse myself deeper before I could say anything on that. I wouldn't say Castle Sol is alluding to the Greater Will and the sun either. Castle Sol is talking about, it's talking about, what is it, the eclipse, right? Because it's supposed to be an eclipsed sun. So unless the eclipsed sun is the Greater Will, I guess. Yeah, it's just, yeah, the thing with the whole Great Tree theory is it's one of those things where you take away the text element of it, and nobody in the world would be coming up with this theory. It really is trying to. It's really trying to find a whole lot of something and nothing. Oh no, I mean that's the only time the game mentions the sun. That's I feel like there's at least one armor or something where the sun gets mentioned. I know sunlight doesn't get mentioned because I'm pretty sure I would remember that. I feel like there's probably like maybe was it Dung Eater's armor? There's definitely a sun medallion on his armor. I don't remember though if it's actually mentioned or noticed. Yeah. Erd Tree, it's been called the Great Tree. It's called the. I'm pretty sure there's like one or two instances where it's called the World Tree. I have to double check though. That might just be internal naming stuff. And I know for sure, obviously, its main name is just the Golden Tree. Yeah, there's definitely some references of the Great Tree with the Crucible, like what's it called? The Great Tree ornamentations that are in what's her Siluria, the Siluria Knight armor. God, chat. It's like trying to dredge up an old archive. All this Elden Ring stuff somewhere folded in my brain. It's said to represent grace. Is that so? Yeah, I don't remember that part. For the Dung Eater thing. Mentions sun in the warmth. Oh yeah, it does compare the Erd Tree's light to the warmth of the sun. I do recall that now that you mention it. Okay, nothing there that I can think of. Oh right, let's circle around at nighttime. Just to make sure there's no bats or anything here. Just to be safe, reset. Aspects of Crucible, I could say the Erd Tree was the Crucible and that should be impossible. Why? Trees at the tallest building. Yeah, oh yeah, that's why we were looking at that too. Okay. Let me quickly do this circle around and then we'll go check out the. Oh. Completely got distracted by the whole great tree talk. Okay, there's nothing here except the. Yeah, okay. Yes, nighttime. I keep forgetting when I screw up the lighting. No bats. No bats. Yeah, I could have swore I thought there was like one corner in these nook areas where there are bats, but I guess I don't remember properly. Because events transpired before the Erd Tree. Ah, okay, you're talking about like stuff like, for example, like with Rao and things like that, where you have like the Crucible power. Okay, so I've talked about this before. The Crucible is the Erd Tree in its original form, right? Like when it was a reddish gold tree more than just a golden tree. Wow, we already made the full circle. That's quick. Okay, yeah, so no bats here. The power of reddish gold comes from the Elden Ring. The Elden Ring predates the Erd Tree. Thereby, the power of the Crucible has existed before the Erd Tree itself. So yes, you can make an argument that the Crucible, or the powers of the Crucible, predate the Erd Tree as the Crucible. Again, that has no connection to the idea that there is somehow a separate giant tree from the Erd Tree. In fact, the game was out of its way in the DLC with talking about, you know, the Crucible, you know, before the Erd Tree. The powers of reddish gold and all the life and all that jazz. By making no comparisons to trees or anything with that. It's all more free form and abstract. Great Tree might be a translation edition, but it's convenient. I'd say it's more so caused more trouble than it's worth, so I would say it's not convenient. It's added useless discussion. Altus Flowers and Night Rain also allude to the Erd Tree casting sunlight, which could be another thing tying to Langdale's JP name, by the way. So I have this other thing. Wait, are there actual new descriptions in Night Rain? I thought it was just the original Elden Ring descriptions. Did they actually change some stuff? Oh god, no. Don't make me go hunting for translation differences between Elden Ring and Night Ring. My brain might explode. There's something that describes a burial tree she had time before the Erd Tree, and Placky. How could the Erd Tree be the Crucible? I don't know what Placky has anything to do with this. The Elden Ring, again, the Elden Ring has existed well before the Erd Tree was a thing. It wasn't like, oh, like, again, we seem to forget, Marika is responsible for creating the Erd Tree with the power of the Elden Ring. Oh no, the special quest Altus Blooms. Okay, right, because there is a okay. Thank God. Thank God I was about, my brain was gonna explode if there was like actual, like unique descriptions for some of the items and not others. Yeah, okay, the Executor quest. Yeah, so there is at least some comparisons between the Erd Tree and Sunlight, which is consistent with some of the oh wow, I've never gone to Langdale on this character with everything else, but that's fine. All right, let's look at this tree here. This is the one you're talking about, right, Xavier? Yeah, it looks like all the others. Oh, maybe I can get a good look at it if I get let's try doing this. Can I get better? Can I get non-foggy lighting here? Yeah, I see it. Oh, please don't like despawn or something. Because yeah, okay, good, thank God. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's consistent with what we've seen before. Looks like the ordinary yellow trees. Right, like we have like yellow trees here and stuff like that. Yellow trees here, yellow trees here, yellow trees throughout everywhere here, right? Yeah, like I'm not putting too much stock in their inclusion on the rooftop here specifically. I don't know if it's intended to be one giant tree or what have you, but at the very least we got like separate branch. Lol. Lol. So America made the Erd tree just how she made the small tree in the Shaman village before she left? Yeah, so okay, so again, the point is that, like, with the help of the Two Fingers, Marika created the Erd Tree seed. So somehow the power of the Elden Ring, whether it's the Elden Ring in its totality or just a piece of it or what have you, I imagine just at least like a piece of the power that's still connected to the larger ring, if I had to hazard a guess, but that's neither here nor there. They take that and they plant it. It creates the Erd Tree as we know it. In fact, let's switch to a different character now just so I can have access to the full map. Sure. Oh no, wait, this is the one that I can't do because everything is... This is the one where everything's all screwed up, right? So no. Sorry. Oh, or was it this one that screwed up? Oh, I don't remember. Why are we all in Deep Root Depths? Get the hell out of here. Look, what do you think of the tree iconography that predates the Erd Tree Kingdom? I can only think of the ones in the, what's it called? The Ancient Dynasties. That's the only one that comes to mind. I mean, it depends on what exactly the culture of the Ancient Dynasty was. They have a thing for oracles, so it could be that their culture predicted the Erd Tree, which would be interesting to me, because it would mean that that there would be legitimate foresight for future events. So as far as I'm aware, I don't think we've had legit time travel in Elden Ring yet, like we do in Dark. Oh my God, never mind. This is the... Okay. This is what happens when I'm gone for a couple months. I don't remember how anything works. Now the game makes it very clear. Marika gave birth to the Erd Tree. So again, no matter how you're looking at it. Okay, so there we go. Beautiful thing. So Marika, you have at the time the Realm of Shadow before it was the Realm of Shadow, right? Before there was this Shadowland, right? Yeah, before this was Shadowland, this was here, right? Marika plants her Erd Tree, right? Like she drops the seed or whatever, right? Whatever connected. It grows into the big tree over here, right? That we see. How fast it grows, not important. The point is that she planted the seed. That seed created the golden tree, and with it, her golden order. Now, originally, we had this beautiful Age of Plenty that was established with Marika under Godfrey. They conquered the lands around, controlled the plateau. You have the Giant War, all that jazz. You have your alliance with the snakes or what have you. And everything's going good under this Age of Plenty under the Crucible. But that era only lasts for so long before eventually the Crucible ends up gone. We can discuss the reasons why later, but eventually the Crucible essentially begins to quote-unquote die. The Erd Tree, in response, as the Crucible begins spreading its seeds, spreading some of that Crucible power all around. These seeds become the minor Erd Trees that we know. These small, quote-unquote, relatively speaking, trees that have grown all around, right? But later, when the shattering happens, the same thing will happen. The Erd Tree, no longer the Crucible, but still the Erd Tree, will later release more seeds, and they become these smaller trees here. It should also be noted that we know that Marika and her people have controlled some of these seeds that would be unleashed, which, again, under Marika's conception of her order, should not exist, because she thought of her Age of Plenty as being eternal, much like her, as the Eternal Queen. Right? So we do see some extent where they control it, because obviously they built the highways and stuff well before anything involving the Shattering and all this jazz, right? And we also see, of course, Marika having done her research, which would eventually lead to Golden Order fundamentalism. It all began... Yeah, same pots and everything. Cool. here, right? So you have some, again, trees that had similarly controlled growth so they don't become full Erd trees. How do you know those item descriptions? There's several pieces of dialogue and item descriptions. I don't remember all the exact ones. Again, I would recommend just, again, link in my description. There's the Erd trees beginning pieces I've written. But yeah, we've already like got all this stuff. And then I have Age of Plenty where I talk about a lot of this stuff here. We talk about the seeds and stuff, thanks to like some of the seed talismans and things of that nature. Oh yeah, there you go, Margit, right?
Smoldering with that wretched flame of ambition.
And then eventually we have the last wars with Godfrey. Godfrey leaves, and then Radagon shows up. He puts the finishing touches, formalizes fundamentalism. And then, you know, we know the story, bada bing, bada boom. Wonderful age of peace and prosperity under Radagon before the Night of the Black Knives. Everything goes to shit. Marika breaks the Elden Ring. She gets imprisoned. Everything starts falling into factions and eventually leads to the Civil War we know as the Shattering, and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, God, I need to get the rust off of me from Elden Ring and stuff like that. It's been so goddamn long. It's crazy because it's only been like a few months, but like, holy hell. I've been so deep in the Dark Souls mines, and along with a little bit of Bloodborne on the side. I feel like an old man. It's like, ah, yes, back in my day. It was back in 42, or was it 47? I made sure that we killed all those soldiers. It was my platoon commander. It wasn't my general. Sarah Tree says the True Soul tree became their tree. It does not say that. So let me pull it up. This. Night Scout, you say a lot of things. So let's go. Let's double check this. See if I'll even pull it up. Let me see if I can find it. Because I'm sure I have it somewhere. Let's just check the English to make it simpler for me. Can I show these guys? Can I show this stuff to you? Oh, yeah, okay, cool. Who do you think is the voice of reason in the world of ER? Do you mean just like abstractly, like who's like the most reasonable person in the game? God, I don't know. I don't know if I'm qualified to answer that. I don't feel like my knowledge is deep enough. Because I feel like you can make arguments for a lot of the characters that they're not being unreasonable in the circumstances. Anyway, let me look through this. Was it beginning? Celeria. Yeah. I don't know what the hell you're talking about here. Yeah, so this is the reference to the Great Tree here. Do we have any other of it included here? Oh yeah, we have in terms. There we go. I'll be honest, I mentioned a lot less than I thought, but I guess that kind of makes sense, right? Yeah, here we go. Reference to the Great Tree roots. Great Tree decoration, symbol of the Knight Celeria and her subordinates. It harbors the power of life's crucible, the original golden tree, and enhances aspects of the. For those that want to know, the term like original here, it's referring to kind of like going. It's you know the way they put it as like primordial and stuff like that. It's not like wrong as it were. It's just it can have a broader lexical meaning, which is why I term it as original, just for the sake of simplicity. But like, I don't think the localization's wrong if they want to like talk about like as like original or primordial power and stuff like that. There we go. Yeah, this is the one referencing the beginning of the golden tree as the seed and stuff like that. This is of course like the little tree thing we have, but I don't try to focus on that because we're not at that point in the timeline where the golden tree she plants there is any relevant. Yeah, this is just we're talking about the stupid things there. All that. How much do I reference Crucible here versus? Blah, blah. Yeah, just a little bit because we do talk about that. So again, Harvest power of life's crucible. The original golden trees. The vessels tightly bulge. The original golden tree. Therefore, the current Erd tree isn't the only golden tree. No. What I'm trying to talk about is like it's talking about something that means like something in earliest form. Really, that's why stuff like primordial works, right? Again, this is why I wanted to use original, because I found it the most like generic terminology I could use, because I didn't want to strictly have it be stuck by purely on a time basis. But yeah, the point is that it's talking about the one golden tree in its like earliest form. Let's see. Yeah, this is about set off with death in the age. Yeah, this is talking about the age before the golden tree, right? I've talked about this before. I would love if I ever get to talk about death birds and stuff to include that. And there was, I think it's under Age of Plenty. Obviously, Age of Plenty is going to talk about Crucible a lot more. Oh, go. Actually, not that much. Got content, Flower, Crucible. That's we have separately. Amber, yeah, old drop of the golden tree, special gemstone, harbors the primordial power of life. This might need to be original. I have to double check the JP for this one. I don't remember if that was the same one or not. And this. Yeah, this is mostly talking about the tech stuff there. Yeah, that's for the crucifixion stuff. Yeah, this is about the different symbols and things we got. Oh, this needs to be fixed. Whoopsie. That's wrong. Golden tree, carry in peacetime. Yeah. And then we have Godric? No, yeah, of course, because it's not relevant here. Yeah, here we go. Coding emulates the origin of the golden tree and is tinged reddish in its color. Yeah, see, because sometimes there would be wordings like this, which is why I wanted to do it like that. Because I was like, I don't want to say like the primevalness or the primordialness, right? If it's a stage of the Erd Tree, then America didn't create the Erd Tree. Yes, she did. We're told this explicitly, with the giving birth with both gold and shadow. So again, the Crucible, as context of the Erd Tree, is the earliest form of the Erd Tree. The Crucible's power, which is also known as the Crucible, of course predates the Erd Tree, in the same way that the power of gold predates the Erd Tree, because the Elden Ring exists. And we know that Power of Gold has been using stuff like, say, with the dragons and the lightning and the red lightning they have. That's the point. Yeah. Do I have the thing with the reddish here? Yeah. Tinge reddish. The color of nostalgia. So yeah, we have various references to the Erd Tree. It being a great tree. The Crucible being a great tree. The reference again, so do I have the surcoat? Is that here? I don't think I have the surcoat here listed. But yeah, the name for that one is again calling the great tree, and it points out that it has both a maybe if I put on maybe it's beast and golden tree or beast and tree. No, I just don't have it here. Period. Damn. The surcoat though is also the same thing. Again, has the burst for the beast for Sarash, the great tree, which is the Erd tree, or Golden. JP would be golden tree in this case. So there's tons of references to them being the same thing here. So America allowed the Erd Tree to transition its current form then. By current form, you mean... Okay, because there's technically three quote-unquote forms for the Erd Tree, right? Soft. There's the original form as the Crucible, right? So the Erd Tree first comes up, and it is the Crucible. Then the reddish aspect of the gold disappears from the Erd Tree as the Crucible, and it just becomes, just the generic Erd Tree at that point on, right? But it's super bright. Then there's the post-shattering Erd Tree. That Erd Tree is referenced as having lost that shine. So the Erd Tree we see currently is supposedly not as bright as it Ah, damn, my mic cut out. Okay, that's the problem with swinging this mic around. Okay, so I don't know when it cut out, so I'll just say this. So when it was, I'll talk about America allowing the Erd tree to transition to its current form. There's 3 forms. The Crucible form, where it's like the reddish gold, it loses the red. The red then becomes, with the red missing, then it releases seeds that become the various minor Erd trees. Then we go into the new form that lasts up through the end of Godfrey's reign and all the way up until, through Radagon's reign, up until Marika shatters the Elden Ring. Then the Erd tree loses some of that shine and it releases, well, I guess I should say, it releases some more seeds, it loses some of its shine, and now it's in the form as we know it today. So this is technically the 3rd form. Now, unfortunately, we don't get a lot of talk about, like, what the Erd tree was like when it was even brighter and shinier than this. So we don't get, like, obviously it doesn't get its own name or special focus. So I guess you could argue maybe you'd want to consider it the same form as the Erd tree, just brighter, but I feel it's at least worth pointing out that technically it's gone through 2 separate transitions. So after the not as bright. Yeah, okay, good. Then at least most of what I said was skiing through. But yeah, the 3rd, this would be technically like the 3rd version of the Erd tree that we see. And we're missing the super bright one that existed. I forget what item it was. Was it one of the stones or? No, was it Warming Stone maybe? No. Warming Stone I think just talks about the healing power of the rays. I don't remember if it talked about the brightness. God. Oh, this is just the runes. Damn it. I don't remember. I don't remember which one item it was. So it was about Sirius tree weapon, not the helmet. Okay, sure. I can look at that one for you. Da-da-da. Up seal area. Ba-ba-da. I don't talk about here. I'm sure I have I'm sure I have the weapon somewhere. God, I hope it's not like in unification or something. Helmet. No, not here. If I did include the weapon, it would be because it had a duplicate description to the helmet, so I didn't think it was worth including. But I feel like that would be wrong because I think there would at least be some differences considering it's not about ornamentation as much. Crucible's End, maybe? Watch Celeria not even be mentioned in this one. I don't know where else it would be then. Let's look here. See. Why do I have this activated? All right. Warming Stone says the Erd tree was once as warm as gentle as the sun. Yeah, I don't remember mentioning the brightness there. One of them does mention the brightness, though. What's your take on the Elden Ring and Malakaz Basarine is the primordial form of the Elden Ring? Yes, I would agree that's probably the original form the Elden Ring had. Yeah, so to summarize, like very quickly summarize like my thoughts on like, you know, the original history of the Elden Ring. However it happened, eventually a shooting star in the form, the Elden Beast, in the form of a shooting star crashes down and it becomes the Elden Ring. From there, the original Newman, I believe, collect in conjunction with the dragons, with Blackie being the king consort, collect the Elden Ring, their leader, whoever becomes God, and then this Newman queen and King Blackie form the civilization of Farum Azula, recruiting, bringing in the Beastmen and stuff, right? So you have humans, quote unquote, Newman, dragons and beastmen, right? The dragons and the Newman come together and they create the Draconians, so the Dragon Men, and eventually those races become the humans as we know them today. I've also put forward the idea that maybe the demi-humans arise from when those resulting humans had relations with the Beastmen, and that created this kind of human beastman hybrid that we see the demi-humans kind of embody, and then somehow they ended up being pushed out of society and became the tribes lurking around the area, but that I have to develop more. I have no idea how much ground that can stand on. Like, there's just so much to that I would have to like go into. The Farm Azula would be founded by beastmen, newmen, and dragons together. That would be where I stand on that. And that the king and queen would be essentially leading the creation of what we know as humanity. That would be where I would argue. And then eventually, of course, you know, the queen gets out and stuff like that, and then that's where we also get like the original humans and stuff who become the farm colonists, like the banished knights and the exile soldiers that we see with that culture. And that eventually, of course, after the whole Bale thing, those humans spread out and become part of the armies helping fight against Bale, and they, you know, using them to become like, you know, the eating the dragon hearts so they can become dragons themselves, and yada yada yada. Anyway, let's try to find this weapon here. I'll double check Altus Unification War. I don't think Radagon's Reign, it's going to mention it, but whatever. Long March, Fringe Folk Rebellion. Yeah, I don't know if this Celeria thing is here. Yeah, it's not appearing here. Not here, damn. Nope. Nope, yep. I'll have to check on it separately then, Night Scout, because for whatever reason, I haven't included an analysis yet, but if it was relevant to the Crucible, I feel like I would have included it here. Like, yeah, again, origin here. Partial autism, the Holy Visual. Man in the old age. Good old days. All right. Rogier did that the Newman Black Knife Assassins were... I think you mean thought that the Newman Black Knife Assassins were Signs of the Eternal City. Yeah, that tracks. That tracks. There's, if I recall correctly, the term Scion wasn't used, like, grafted Scions. It was Descendants. Which, again, that tracks. Can't believe Loki skipped lore. God damn it! I knew I should have rushed through all those item descriptions. You know, Celeria or Novus, who cares? They're all the same. They're all Devonia in the end. No, yeah, there's only two reasons I would include it. Either A, the localization was not different enough for me to include, or B, it wasn't relevant for me, so I'd have to double check that. Rogier did mention that Newman Black Knight were Signs of the Eternal City. Okay, you're talking about as in mention. Okay. So, like, I've talked about this one also before. So, there seems to be a thing where a bunch of astrologers migrated from the mountaintops down and throughout. And you basically had, like, the most important groups we could talk about are those who ended up establishing Lascar, and those who ended up establishing Celia. And those who established Celia had contact with the Newman. And those Newman helped in the establishment of Celia. Therefore, you have Newman. Newman, or Nox, I should say. You have Nox and humans, astrologers, coming together, and they form, essentially, again, descendants of an eternal city. And then you also have, of course, the humans from the Lascar, Raya Lucaria population, eventually coming east and interacting with them there, which is where we see the ghosts and stuff. Why did Moog build his dynasty on top of the ruins of the ancient dynasty? That I can't tell you. I got no idea. Could there be a deep lore reason as to why? I'm sure there is, but I could not tell you. I do not know. I am not nearly as knowledgeable about the ins and outs of Moog and Mogwin or the larger backstory of the ancient dynasty to say that with any certainty. Sorry, I can't help you there. That I'm like, that I am legitimately clueless on. Yeah, it could just be that he was looking because it was just like an appropriate place considering that they're old ruins and stuff. But again, is there some deeper connection there? Is there some deeper historical ties again? Again, could it tie into this idea that the ancient dynasty maybe even foretold the Erd Tree? I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I don't know about ancient dynasty descendant because Mog is Marika's child, right? Like he is one of the demigods that is the child of Marika. So unless Marika and her villagers come from the ancient dynasty, I don't know. Now again, I don't know enough about the ancient dynasty's lore and history that I can claim I can't connect it to Marika in any way. But it's legitimately outside of my, I wouldn't even say area of expertise, just outside of my frame of knowledge. But yeah, so what we have here is... So what we have here is basically Marika plants a tree. She kind of thinks she's got it all set because she's gonna live this age of plenty. You know, hey, if it worked for the what are they called? The horn scent, it could work for her, right? Well, her age of plenty doesn't last all that long. She ends up losing her crucible. It just becomes the plain old regular golden tree. No more reddish gold for her. And then eventually we that regular golden tree loses some of its luster because of the shattering of the Elden Ring. Which I guess is partially the justification for how they're able to like change everything up with the tree during the endings, right? It's like, ah, look, see, we've repaired the tree with the new stuff, so now the tree will be restored and it can be even brighter and with different colors. Yeah, it's not canon, but it would be neat. Yeah, again, it's just one of those things where I'm like, I like, okay, let's go through what I've got here. I have covered so far. So the stuff where I'm like, I'm reasonably confident in anything I said. Highlanders, Gelmir, and even that is somewhat limited because there's a larger cosmological context between the snake and Gelmir that I still have not understood yet. So I could see this getting expanded in the future for sure. Farm colonies, Caria, Erdtree's Beginning, Altus Unification War, the Giant War, the Age of Plenty, the Crucible's End. I do kind of find how they jumped up. Again, one of these days I'll have something in between there. Lyridian Wars, Ancient Dragon War, the French Folk Rebellion, the Long March, Radagon's Reign, Godric, Radon, Gaius, the Great Jar, Kaiden, Adon, and Garrus. There's other stuff, obviously, that I've definitely given some thought to, but I can't say that I have any, like, solid thoughts on, or not even solid thoughts, but a solid grasp on those subjects. So I haven't committed any of it to writing to a significant degree. Lyridian Civil War is perhaps the closest I have because I've done like at least half of it now. Could you mention the item that mentions reddish gold? That is is it the gold coated? Is it the gold coated shield? I forget what the exact name is, but it's the shield associated with Godric's forces. It's the let's pull it up since we're here. I'm sure I mentioned it in the article. Where is it? Reddish gold. Yeah, here we go. Metal Great Shield. That's the Straight Sword. Golden Beast Crest Shield. Gilded Iron Shield. No, that's Reflexive. No, I don't think it's the Gilded Iron Shield. Oh, Gilded Great Shield. Okay, yeah, so that's the name. Gilded Great Shield. Yeah. Coat emulates the origin of the golden tree and is tinged reddish. It's the color of nostalgia. Ah, the good old days when our tree was red. We missed that day. I think there's a few other items that also mention the reddish hue. I think it's the only one there in Godric's that I remember. Erdtree's Beginning. Oh, wait. Wait. Why is this here? Oh, I gotta remove it. I don't like doing duplicates like this. Okay. Man, I'm discovering all little tiny mistakes that I need to fix. I should have a second description here. It should be one or the other. Oh, let's put Godric in a separate thing. Was Erdtree's Beginning where we also had that error? Let me see. Loki's just talking out of his butt. Yeah, you know, I just shade things, you know? So base game item? Yeah, base game item. Where is it? Oh god, might have been in the other one. Yeah, it was under Age of Plenty, wasn't it? Perfect time, I guess, for me to be going back through Elden Ring. If I'm making little mistakes like this. Where is it? Come on. Holy crap, it's already almost midnight for me, chat. I think we were gonna probably want to close the... Oh, is it here? Yeah, there it is. Okay. I gotta fix this. This is silly. I like this. No. No, it looks awful when it's regular text. Yeah, thanks, Night Sky. I found it. This type, you know, this is surprisingly the mistake that pisses me off the most. Because it's like, I feel like it's so easy just to be like, highlight this, convert it to a quote page. So when I actually forget to do it and somehow I miss this, it annoys me extra. Because like, how did that get through? Like, what was I doing? Probably like wanting to like collapse into a bed at the time, but still. Talisman, receiving a drop. Yeah, okay. We've got, okay, all that stuff is covered. Cool. Let me just open this in a separate tab so I'll remember later. Here we go. Yeah, no, so the only thing, like right now, I think the biggest thing that I'd want to cover, because I feel like I could probably get that done, like, you know, with a reasonable, like a reasonably complete understanding of it, would probably be something like the Shattering, like just a generic covering of the Shattering, including, I wouldn't go too deep into the first defensive lane Dell because we cover that all in Godric, but or the second defensive lane Dell because we also cover that in Godric and Radon. But probably like a generic overview of stuff that Morgoth's doing. You know, the stuff with him and the ruler alliance he's forming with all the shard bearers. Probably would also want to cover, where is it? Like I said, Lyrian Civil War is going to be somewhere there. I guess I could also do Rykard, but I just don't want to do Rykard. Like, I don't know. Rykard just feels like low priority. But like I do eventually have to get it, especially with these stupid abductor virgins. It'd be like, goddamn, like how long am I gonna have to keep a list of where they are and what they're doing? Does this mention the unique buff visual effects for the ceremonial swords of the grafted scions? I want to say yes. Oh no, you know what? I think it would have been here. Oh, what's it called? Ornamental. It doesn't mention the unique visual effect, no, and I don't think it's mentioned here either. Yeah, it's not mentioned here. I could try to fit that in. I could probably fit it into here. How many is this already? It's 15. I can fit in an extra little line here, probably. I don't think that would be too hard. Do greater will. No! Holy hell no! I am not qualified. I am not the least bit qualified to cover the greater will. Like, oh my god. Like, if you're gonna tell me to cover greater will, that's basically telling me cover the entire cosmology of the game. Like, holy shit. I am not there, guys. I'm sorry. I know, nobody likes to meme about it. You guys like to ask, but like, I just don't feel I'm ready there. I am still on the let's try to understand what the history of stuff is. Going back that deep, oh my god. Hey, Dalbog, welcome on in. But no, I'm not covering Greater Will anytime soon. That would, I think I would legit go crazy. Because I would be collecting so much data, I would be making so many notes, and I would not be making any actual progress on the analysis. It would be 90% data collection, and the other 10% would be just me like trying to scratch my head, figure out how it all fits together. Loki, cover Christianity. Unironically, I would rather be told to cover the history of my church. Cover God. You see, it all began at the beginning of, but before the beginning of creation, during the uncreated, when there was no time or space, there was simply the Lord. And one day he just said, "Let there be light." And he's like, "Okay, there shall now be light." And then he decided, okay, there's now this universe with stars and debris and all this crap, and I'm going to use it to form all these different planets. And one of them, I'm going to have all this race of life exist. Oh my God. I would really rather be spitting theology rather than anything related to Elden Ring cosmology right now. Which is a shame. It's a shame. Because I would like to one day get to it, but I'm just not there yet. But hey, I've covered Karia, and like I said, Liurnian Civil War is also up there. So like, I'm filling out the timeline, right? Like, I feel like we still haven't covered like Rao or Farum Azula or anything like that. But I feel like I would feel more comfortable covering some of those earlier topics, even though I have in fact like thought a lot about a lot of them. I've definitely thought a lot about Farum Azula. I've thought a bit about the Ancient Civ. Not enough about Ancient Dynasty, I feel like. Right? But I feel like I could definitely like cover those more completely and in better form once I cover all of this. Because then it should be easier for me to reverse engineer, okay, this and that and that. Crucible question. Hornstorm Excrement. Sure, let's see what we got here. Does this imply the animal hunts down horned animals for non-food reasons? I wouldn't necessarily say that. This is for the horn-strewn excrement, right? So let me. I'm pretty sure I should have a translation of this already. So, oh God. Yeah, there we go, Miro. Oh God, it's been a while since I've opened this too, chat. So give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, all translations are provided by me, Adam. Do I have excrement? Oh no, it's in this is the base game Elden Ring, right? Oh. Okay, I'm already in too deep. I hate doing this to you guys, but just give me a sec. I forgot Vati has this on a password. I have to copy and paste this goddamn password every time. I need to copy all this stuff over to my own private document so I can just open this crap. My own documents are so goddamn behind on this. Is there a motive in play? I didn't see it, but again, let me just give you the English one so you can decide for yourself. Because I've already done a translation here, and I don't want to stray too much from what I've already put it as. At least I assume I have a translation. Excrement, where is it? Oh. Okay, no, it's one of the items in the DLC I have not posted as a separate translation for there. Yeah, no. It does, again, it does in fact say that they like doing this. That is very much true. I just don't know if I would say that that necessarily means it's for non-food reasons. Right? Again, though, it depends, I guess, on what you feel, on how much you think that their liking for it, like, plays into it. A more concrete timeline now, including DLC knowledge, sounds like a good start for me. Well, that was the point of like updating Erdtree's beginning. Like the reason why Farm Colonies is now to a lesser extent Gelmir, and wait, no, Highlanders was always separate. The reason why, actually, wait, I actually don't remember. How much did I include anything from? Oh yeah, I did. I did cover. Okay, so there's a little bit of Highlanders in here too, right? Because I talked about the right. I talked about the barbarian stuff, right? So like a little bit of Highlanders, Gelmir, and Farm Colonies are separate analyses right now. It was because the DLC made it be like, okay, so there's a little bit more here. There's a little bit more complications, so I have to cut this stuff out because it's no longer strictly related to the history of the Erd Tree and stuff like that. And then I ended up having to like add all the additional stuff from the DLC, so that way this thesis was, you know, well, an actual worthwhile thesis. So yeah, there's that. I don't remember how much DLC factored into some of the other stuff. Obviously, Gaius is a DLC character, so he's a separate. There's a little bit of Radahn in there. I don't remember much in Godric. I guess we could. Nah, I'd want to talk about Hornsent, and I want to cover Hornsent and the Jar Saint separately first before I try to make any firm connections between that and grafting. Because I feel like it's definitely something where I feel like I could make a casual reference to it and it might be like slightly off. I was wondering if the presence of the horns might be affecting their nature. Again, I don't see anything like too strongly for that Night Scout, but I think it would definitely be an implication. And I think like so far, like what I would say is I don't think like there's anything that like is too strongly indicative of that way, but I don't think it would be wrong to think that as a possibility either. I think it's just somewhat vague. And I don't know enough about Hornsent to say like, okay, does the larger context point one way or the other with that? The poop lore so easily forgotten. Yeah. I mean, I do in fact. I have in fact skipped pretty much everything involving Dung Eater because I just don't care enough. Since the EN uses the term sport, it seems to imply something other than food for hunting. I'm wondering if the Hornsent are so focused on violence because the horns make them more aggressive. Yeah, that I can't tell you looking at the text. It does, again, there is in fact, it does say like, right? Again, the localization might just be being creative with the wording there, right? But I don't know how much you can separate like, oh, you know, like versus sport, you know? Yeah, so looking at this stuff, I do feel like probably like for DLC stuff, it would be definitely Hornsent. 100% if I cover Omen. So like, what's missing here? Glowmite Queen, which I don't want to cover Glowmite Queen because I just be repeating what every goddamn rational content creator has said. Oh my god, the Glowmite Queen is probably Melina. Oh my god, Melina and the snake. Oh my god, like I would just be rehashing so much. It's not worth it for me to go through that. I would hate it. I would be miserable. The Omen incident, and I think I definitely could say I could definitely at least like include some stuff related to the DLC, though again, because I don't understand the larger cosmology, I don't know how the curse works as far as like how and why the Horns are able to do that, right? Like I just don't know the lore of curses deep enough to like go into any details on that side of things. But like the actual history and stuff, like yeah, I can talk about how I've talked about, you know, stuff before on the Twitter threads, not using the new name, because of the stuff we see with the graveyard, quote unquote, area at the fringes of Altus. There's the stuff on how Hornsent Omen were treated in the Heartland with Lingdell versus out in the boonies at Stormvale, like stuff like that I could definitely talk about. Ancestral Follows would be fun. It's kind of crazy Dung Eater got a whole ending, huh? At least to me. Well, I don't know. Listen, I understand why Dung Eater got an ending, right? Because he's like it's the dark side ending for Elden Ring, right? Like it's like you know, you have your arguably good endings, right? I'm sure people would like debate which one's the actual good or bad or whatever, right? But like you have a bunch of different endings, and then you have Dung Eaters, which is like the obvious, like, oh, you want them, it's like, you know, hey, when everyone goes through suffering and pain, then nobody's really going through suffering and pain, you know, like that type of whole, you know, if we're all different, then we're all the same. Nobody's different. Right? Dung Eater's ending was tailor-made for the Lamenter before the Lamenter was even put in the cave. there's so much like, you know, there's so much like Hornsent stuff too that I would also have to go through, like with the Lamenter and stuff. Because like I could easily talk about like the horn scent and like Rao, because the Rao history and the connection between Rao and the like that would be an interesting aspect for me personally to go through. But then there's all the other stuff with the horn scent that I feel like there's all the little vignettes with the various characters, the jails and all that. That I don't know if I would enjoy as much. Ancestral followers, again, that would tie into ancient dynasties, but that would be cool. But that would be basically me like, it would be talk about ancient dynasties, and I'd probably be, that would be like half of the analysis, and then the other half would just be ancestral followers, because obviously we know a lot more about ancestral followers than we know about their predecessors. Dung Eater basically tries to tell Shabriri to hold his beer. Yeah, him and Shabriri are basically competing to be who could be like the biggest like asshole to the rest of the world. At least Shabriri tries to cloak his stuff in some sanctimonious, the world is better off destroyed than suffering. No, kind of like going through the Allant spiel, but Allant actually is painted as legitimately tragic, whereas Shabriri is kind of like an obviously evil monster who's like he's very much the devil, right? Like he's very much sort of the devil figure. Dung Eater is dark side, Frenzy, Flame Ending is complete chaos. Yeah, exactly.
Wretch, flame of ambition.
Like fully evil. But yeah, we have Fringe Folk Rebellion that I've already covered, so I'm happy with a lot of the stuff on like the Banished Knight side. Like I pretty much covered all the lore, at least the important lore there, besides maybe the Castle Soul stuff with Mikola. Like we've covered that. Yeah, honestly, I feel like we're running out of major topics. Oh, I can't forget the fire monks. I have to cover the fire monks at some point. I've kind of left them like. The weird part is, because let me see, how do I end this? Yeah, Troll stares at the tree from the perfect spot on the summit next to the sword monument dedicated to the war. As the Stella and America resolve, the days of the giants were behind them. Ahead was the new Erdtree age. So that's like the perfect like lead up to Age of Plenty. But realistically, for the guide page, it would go Age of Plenty, probably Fire Monk. Sorry, it would go Giant War, then Fire Monks, then Age of Plenty. I don't know, maybe when I write this, there'll be stuff involved with Age of Plenty that I can't, but actually, no, I don't think so, because, actually, I think I could get away with including Fire Monks after Age of Plenty, not because like they actually they're pretty much concurrent with the Age of Plenty proper, right? Like they basically transition from Giant War to Age of Plenty pretty smoothly. But I think I could make the justification, because if I talk about the Fire Monks, I'd want to talk about the Thorn Sorcerers as well, probably. And if I do that, I would have to talk about the larger crime and punishment thing America's got going with Thorns. And if that's the case, well, I talked about it in Age of Plenty with her whole, judicial system there. So I could probably justify including Fire Monks later. I think the problem, though, is that, let me double check. Age of Plenty also ends with a lead up, right? Yeah, that distinction might have seemed meaningless to the queen when she first entrusted her children to the interpreters or its envoys, but would it become apparent to the complacent god soon enough, within the span of maybe as short as a few decades, the golden age of life had burned out, sparked by the flames of death. Okay, yeah, so already I am, this is like the perfect segue into the Glowmite Queen stuff. So it would be kind of funny that I go from there to talk about Fire Monks and then talk about the Glowmite Queen. But again, the Fire Monks also have to be a prerequisite for Glowmite Queen too, because like they're involved with her thing. So like, yeah. The Discord had a brief discussion about if the fire giants were speared in reverse rather than the tops of the spear running through them. So you mean like the spears come down from above to kill them? Yeah, I think they're just execution sites. I don't think there's anything about self-sacrifice here. Okay, you can I think you can make the case that the spears would have come from above, because we don't see, like, this giant doesn't have a spear that goes all the way through him. Maybe it's just a mistake. Oh wait, no. No, never mind, it does. Okay, it does. It's through here. It's just, okay, you just don't see it very clearly. But yeah, it comes out through here. Okay, no. Yeah, and you can see some of it going through the mouth of the Fell Godhead here. Yeah, I don't know. If all of them... Okay, there's always a question of logistics. How do you get a giant to basically get impaled, right? Like whether you... I can see the argument because this stuff is really hefty, right? So like shoving that through a giant seems crazy. But then again, I guess you could argue the body weight. They're that heavy that, yeah, of course it's going to go through. But yeah, I can see why people would discuss this. But yeah, I would side with just the idea that it looks like they're impaled the traditional way. I think it's safer to assume they're impaled the traditional way. Fire monks have much smaller spears, uses torch bowls around their war camp, so people were wondering that. Yeah, I think when it comes to the spears, I feel like it's safer to assume that they were being used like this. I don't remember how it looks when we're at their camps, though, so we'd have to look at that separately. What's a good spot? Here. Some mean impenetrable thorn spells by Marika had to cast her shadow tree spells. Actually, now that you mention that, Xavier, I do wonder if those spears are supposed to be like more shadow magic. Because we do see the Erd tree have the impenetrable thorns. Again, for those that don't know, the JP is the thorns of rejection, you know, this idea of like keeping them away. I don't see them being used as torches. Yeah, no, I don't think these are torch poles. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are just for execution because they're going to kill Adon, so they're bringing these around to execute him with. I think that's the idea. Is just kind of give this idea of how they handle things. We kind of see the same thing with what's their face, the Zamor, the Zamier. Also, small torch versions near the entrance to the fire. Oh, there are torch versions there. Cool. Southeast Langdell is good, just a ways down from the Church of Irith. Is southeast, so the one on the other side. We could just Church of Irith. I don't remember any being near the Church of Irith. Think even smaller ones are in the southeast camp. Yeah, let me see if I can find these torch versions. I wanna see them if they exist, because that'd be cool. Because like these are definitely like the execution types. So I think the only other one we have is around here, right? Am I crazy? Yeah, let me look more towards the fall. I vaguely recall torches there. I don't remember what types they were, so. Yeah, no. The only thing used as torch is the heads and or helmets of the... I guess it could be both. Of the prelates. I assume these are just the helmets. They kind of look like they're made of stone, if I'm being honest. Fire cleanse me. Yeah, no, I'm seeing normal torch fire stuff here. All right, let's head toward the fog gate. Oh, you're thinking about you're talking about the normal Godric camp? I don't think that one has that stuff there, but I can check. Maybe it does, and torches here, right? Yeah, these are torch ones. This I actually think is cool. We can have this as a... Oh, you thought those were normal braziers? No, yeah, those are prelate helmet things. Yeah, I thought it was a cool detail too. I don't think there's any more in here, right? I wonder why this is turned to ice specifically. Seems kind of random. Oh well. I don't know, maybe that's just FromSoft. They're doing random shit. Oh, it's not a Godric camp? All right, I'm gonna go to the Church of Aerith, like you said, Night Scout, but I'll be honest, I don't know which one you're talking about. Because I only know of the Godric camp. That's a little south from here. Yeah, we have this normal Godric camp. Then we go down here. Yeah, this is the one. There's only this one. So yeah, there's no small torches, unfortunately. There's just the regular braziers here, and then you got the special ones here, and then you got the fancy execution stuff here. And then again, we see the execution stuff also at Zamor. Now, I'm not sure of the exact circumstances yet, but it does look like the reason the Zamor this village is in ruins is because of the fire monks. Yeah. It does look like they tried mounting an attack here, right? And these are some of their execution stuff they left from there. And then, ironically enough, when they were making their way back, they ended up getting cut off by Golem Boy here. Yeah, you keep pounding your chest. Act like the tough guy. It's not changing your situation, bud. Guy's like, you don't scare me. I vaguely recall a fire monk camp northeast on the back of Stormvale. That's the one we went to right up here. The one here. There's only two camps, I think. It should be just the one over here and the one up here. And that's it. Bridge cut, yeah. Like, can you imagine? You're like, ha ha ha. We're gonna get rid of those filthy ice sorcerer things. And apparently, you get pushed back enough that you're not actually gonna go and kill them all. Right? Like, their village is destroyed, but Zamor is still standing, right? So you end up basically coming back with your tail between your legs. You give up on your little genocide plan. You know, honestly, I guess I shouldn't like, you know, blame them for that. They learn from the best. Like, listen, when you literally exist from learning from America's example, I think it's like, oh, well, I guess genocide is just like in the blood. But you come all the way back and you're like, well, damn. Does anyone know how to climb a mountain? Yeah, I think you visit. Yeah, there should be only those two. If there's a third one, again, feel free to tell me somebody, but I don't think I'm that forgetful. I'm pretty forgetful, but I'm not that forgetful, I don't think. I keep saying that, and then there's some other bullshit I've completely forgotten about. It's always the same. All right, guys, it's past midnight. I love you all. I could be here chatting, maybe tomorrow we'll do this again, but I'll actually like do this at like midday or something my time, so we can spend more time kind of just chilling with Elden Ring and stuff. But like, I think we need to end this here. Some more warriors having shackles on their left wrist give me the impression that they either rebelled against the monks or traveled across land to regroup at their ruined homeland. I could potentially see... I could potentially see the shackles coming in play. I just don't know, because we do know that the design was taken from something else originally. So like, I'm hesitant to ascribe a specific inclusion for the shackles when it's not like immediately obvious. But again, if we could consider that a factor, I definitely feel like the idea that like, oh, they were all like enslaved or something could work. The problem is we seem to see a lot of them seemingly willingly like serving with Godfrey and stuff as people and being like, you know, Tria's comrades up until like the Tarnished stuff. So I definitely feel like it would be weird if there's any Zamor that are still around free that could come back and reconstitute a village. So I feel like it'd be more likely that the village itself got enslaved. I could also maybe see the idea of like a rebellion where like the fire monks had they won, they had them captured, but then they broke free. But then it'd be kind of weird because like you captured them, but then they still managed to somehow get out and like overpower you anyway. I don't know. It would be kind of weird. Anyway, like I said, we're gonna have to end this here. Again, you guys, you know, if you guys want to double check or whatever, the best Loki is Ridden Loki. Please read Ridden Loki, because he actually remembers all the shit that future Loki definitely will not remember. Past Loki knows all this crap. Future Loki also hasn't fallen to his death yet. Anyway, see y'all later. Bye.